her hugging her son and seeing her with this tiny little boy that we had been talking about and searching for 24 hours. It was the most life-changing day for me, other than the time that I had my own children.
Dion Nuclea is a volunteer for Immigrant Families Together, a national network of American moms who are helping immigrant mothers reunite with their kids. To date, the group has raised more than $450,000, covered the bonds of 11 detained women, and helped 9 of them reunify with their children.
We're all mothers, and we get how heartbreaking, even though we can't imagine it, it's just heartbreaking at the thought. We're able to capitalize on everybody's strengths that are just going to help get the mom from one place to the next.
One mother who needed just that is Lilian Martinez. The Guatemalan migrant was held in Arizona on a $25,000 bond after illegally crossing the border in May, and she had been separated from her 5-year-old son as a result of the administration's zero-tolerance policy. Immigrant Families Together raised $50,000 for Martinez, got her out of detention in mid-July, and helped her travel from Arizona to Houston, where she was told her son was located. But once in Houston, she learned that her son was actually held in Corpus Christi, 200 miles away. Uclea and a fellow organizer volunteered to drive her there.
Now suddenly we're on a road trip with a third person that, has just put literally all of her trust into us, which was humbling.
But when they got to the children's shelter in Corpus Christi, nobody would receive them. Even worse, the facility supervisor called the police on them. When Martinez was eventually allowed to get inside the building, she came back with bad news.
They said he's not there, and they don't know where he is. And so that was basically a dead end. See, it could have been very simple, but systematically it is set up to not be helpful or easy or kind to the parent.
They were back to square one. And because it was the weekend, their many phone calls to the caseworker were useless at first, until someone finally called back to say that the child was at a nearby foster family and ready to be reunited with her mom. And at last, for the first time in 2 months, the 24-year-old mother got to hug her child.
Yo no tengo cómo pagarles, pero Dios les va a pagar a todos los que han hecho. Me han ayudado a recuperar a mi hijo. Yo sin mi hijo no quería vivir. Gracias.
You're an interior designer, a product manager, and here you are at the center of one of the biggest, political and media crises of this year. How much self-awareness did you have at that moment that you had inserted yourself in such a situation?
We kind of laughed about it because we really didn't go into it thinking, oh, can we do this or we can't. We're just like, no, she's ready for her son. We know where he is. Let's just go get him and make sure this happens, because she can't drive to go get him. So how else was she going to do that?
How does Immigrant Families Together continues to help migrant mothers after they've been reunited with their kids?
Helping them in those wraparound services, whether it's mental health providers, giving them therapy to understand what they've been through, and most cases take 5 years. So we want to make sure that these families are getting everything they need in the meantime, so that way they can move on with their lives.